What's good, YouTube? And welcome to not letting your memes be dreams, but instead buyouts on the market. Now, if you were a true fan, you would have already had this one, but it is spiking upwards towards $60 with very few below that right now. There's one newer listing, I think, at $40 before it is, up there, and even sales at $60. If you were spending $60 on this, shame on you for not already having it. But the reason for this is the new Tri-Brigade deck, except it is reptiles, insects, and plants, and that generic goodness being along with the deck. People are really taking off with this into the market. You can actually see people buying out the Serpentine Princess here and going wild over that, and also Lone Fire Blossom Quarter Century Secret Rares have been going like crazy. Also, before we get to the Maze pre-sales, I have an apology to give. I called Orcuscopium. Here it is taking first place at regionals, so I thought it wouldn't be doing stuff even on this level, and I am clearly very wrong. While the Horus engine is used, it does help it get there, and definitely I underestimated this deck. I'm always willing to swallow my words when my player brain is wrong. Tier 0 has Maze of Millennia pre-orders up. I have not seen these at all. This will be a reaction. I do think that triple tactic thrust could be underestimated early, because look at how Baroness did with the last maze. But let's go ahead and show 48 and go price high to low. I don't think we know all the collector rares yet either. So early on, rollback, bonfire. Okay, bonfire is definitely, I think, overpriced here for a side set. Like, I know it's going to be the wanted card out of here, like not the archetype, but what people are after, the chase card that is new. But I don't think an ultra rare can be $70 out of these side sets. Like, I get that you're looking at 3 per box, but this one definitely misses the mark for tier 0. They are selling out of other stuff though, like the Ancient Chant Collector Rare, number 1 collector. Yeah, number collectors are gonna go crazy for that early. That makes sense. The Flame Swordsman stuff is pretty awesome to see, and it looks like Earthbound stuff is going okay. Triple Tactic Thrust at 40. I do feel like this will rebound towards 50. The question is when though. I think early on / day 1 will be kind of the best time to get this, but it's going to be a bit of a race for it at that point, which also Rescue Ace is in here if you didn't know. Those reprints were huge, but 40, I think this is about right. Of course, you can use code What's Good 5 for 5% off and support the channel directly over on the website, making these even cheaper. It seems about right. I think I would have actually tried to price these towards 42 to 45, like thinking about discount codes, probably 42, right? So it does seem like they are thinking like, I want to move these, and I also want to be more fair to the community, where I just can't think that this would be above a $50 card early, but so many people are on Fire Kings too. So we'll have to wait to see, because I do also often say, don't underestimate what a structure deck will do to other cards on the market, but I can't fathom it being up there like that for the normal ultra rare. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below though, because a lot of people are saying this is the only card besides TTT in the set, and yeah, I guess that does make a bit of sense. Do they have the Jet Synchron there? Do they have the Quarter Century Secret Rare yet up here? I don't believe they do. I feel like that's one that will be cheaper than people will think it will be, or it will sink quickly, because a lot of those collector made cards, even when they're hyped by the fans, tend to fall out lately, like that ultra rare Dark Magician within Battle of Chaos, or when we're looking at the more recent duo magicians that are in the core sets and how those have fallen out. So I wouldn't necessarily place my bets on that one, and wouldn't buy into it too early necessarily. Looking through here, it looks like the Rescue Ace stuff is going to be super cheap as super rares, $3. Nice to see that. And maybe Konami has plans to go ahead and hit that soon. Magispector stuff, dollars on the pre-sales, is also nice with the new support coming soon. So overall, some mixed pre-sales here, but I would say it's disappointing to see the top card not easy access, but the other top card doing a lot better than I thought it would to a degree. And then and everything else, there's a reason why they're selling out of cards over here. Triple Tactics thrust over on TCG Player, I think, is a bit of an overreaction on how people are dumping it, but a new version often does give that panic conversation to people letting it go, and it's at $43.44. So actually, sorry, Tier 0, I would think about maybe getting the secret rare right now for just a couple more dollars before you go for that ultra rare on pre-sale. Like, yeah, there's the 5% discount, but you can also use my TCG Player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra. Support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying right now while people are panic selling the secret rare. If you are in the market for this, I'd probably get it. I saw so many people devastated. I got to sell it for myself for a Christmas present. I just spent $210 on these, really upset by the reprint, and it does feel like Konami had been missing the mark, like No Pot of Prosperity and the other maze, that kind of stuff, where this feels more like King's Court, where they had Lightning Storm, and they do get the Star reprint right around that corner. Rescue Ace also falling out in price very, very quickly. You can see the prices going, and yeah, ultra rare is still going to be highest rarity along with collector rare, but that cheap super rare is going to be excellent. Also, Ancient Chant within the set, I would expect this to fall out somewhat quickly, but not the most people have that legendary duelist version, or they have it for their anime decks. They're not paying attention to the market. But yeah, I think I saw a DZ pull this one, and Ancient Chant, definitely a huge card for the set in terms of collectability. It'll probably bottom out for a while and then start to pick up traction because, let's face it, these reprints, with how few ultra rares are in the set, are not the most easy access. Live editing done cheap. Let me take a bit of a drink real quick. I always try to do these in one take. Now, for the metagame changes, we do have Underworld Goddess over here going up. You have the new Mini Goddess, which will combo with it, and this has been consistently going up. The OCG had a theme set that had Zeus and this and other cover cards with cool boxes, and we never got a port of a set like that. So it is interesting to see maybe our spring reprint set, maybe. Power of the Elements is also missing right now and can mix with that, but yeah, this continues to go up with not really a reprint in sight, and people don't want to open those 2022 tins. Diabellstar, I did say I felt like this was cheap when it was in the 20s, is now over 40. You gotta have it for the engine. The rest of the engine's already so expensive. You're gonna see this played the more and more decks as an engine, and it missed the ban list. So yeah, it is spiking right now. Flame Swordsman, with all of its new support, the secret rares are getting bought, and these are super nice out of the Speed Duel set, and they are going up somewhat quickly towards $3. There's plenty of versions of Flame Swordsman, but there's only one version of Fusion Armament, which is also in the deck. This is a penny stonk I talked about a while ago, but I also said, hey, it needs something to happen for it. Well, Flame Swordsman's on the card. Flame Swordsman set cards, here they come, and it seems like people have taken a pretty big interest. I waited a couple hours in order to do the pre-sale react, so I'm making sure the refreshes are correct on some of these tabs. We have Ghost Bell over here, which has its Starlight rare being bought out after the quarter century rare got bought out, and it really freaking spiked up in price for where the lowest listings are, and people are even paying for some of those, and it's head towards maybe 300 if one more 250 actually sells, but it was, you know, $130 just a couple days ago. So that really high-end market is starting to recover to a good degree as quarter century rares continue to push up and people remember how hard Starlights are and Starlights still max. We're seeing some of those cards actually manage to climb back out of the hole and get buyouts and shoot up in price. That one is interesting to me because it's nice to have the mid-max version look similar yet different and have the other option for the collectors. I think Konami actually did a great balance, and there was a ton of overreacting, although still lazy choices by Konami to see where that direction's gone. Infinite Impermanence is another example of this. We already talked about it starting to go up. It's going even further. The ulti has recovered to 145. Somebody in the Discord said they got called stupid for saying, yeah, these are rebounding / starting to go up. I've been saying it for about a week or two now, and often when you are ahead of the curve, people are like, nah, later. How were you on that? It's paying attention daily. It ends up paying you. We have Sprite Blue Ultimate Rares continuing to rebound, and again, this is a nice deck in terms of what it can do, not at the forefront of the metagame, but still a pretty good deck. And you can see here that Power of the Elements still has a little bit of money in it. Dragoon is going back up / lower in quantities, which has been interesting to watch. All versions of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon are up. Chimera, Branded, let me know if there's something else actually going for this, though. Magispectors have one card that didn't get reprinted, Majesty's Pegasus here, and it already had spiked before on the announcement of new stuff and started to slowly trail up with the day having like the other cards reprinted. You might want to think about having access to this if you are committing that hard to the deck. And then finally, we already talked about Odd Eyes Pendulum, Graph Dragon, Secret Rare being bought out. The Ultra is starting to go from the new tins because, again, people don't want to open those tins, so it's easy to make stuff like this disappear. Way easier than it should be. It's actually pretty horrendous, the situation we're in with that. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Sorry, Tier 0, but again, I do feel like that's a bit much for Bonfire, and I would definitely still suggest Secret Tactics. But again, there's reasons other stuff is selling out on the site because they are pricing stuff pretty well, especially that Rescue Ace stuff. Like, I think they did good with that. I would have made that into a little core, even though I guess it's only a couple cards. And I do think that it is nice to see the direction that Konami's taken with actually considering its reprints and stuff like that. Code What's Good 5 for 5% off and support the channel directly over at Tier 0 if you're shopping those pre-sales. Free international shipping when you're over a certain amount. Make sure it works for your region.